Good morning, everybody. This video is continuing my series on the use of spices and herbs for cooking. I will also talk about how people back in the day used the herb or spice for medicinal properties, and many still use it today. Well, I will discuss the pairing of the spices for dishes and a description about how each spice or herb may affect your dish's taste. I'm going to only do a few spices and herbs at a time so it won't be overwhelming and the video won't be too long. There is one thing that I have to state as a disclaimer. I am not a physician or a medical practitioner, nor am I giving you medical advice. I just state the benefits from other sites, websites that is, like WebMD, Healthline, just to name a few. Okay, let's keep moving forward, like Walt Disney used to say. The following herbs have a varying degree of licorice taste with earthy tones and add wonderful flavor to all dishes. Some, not all, can be purchased in a fresh version, but all are available dried. They can be ground, whole, chopped, depending on your grocery store's inventory. So let's start with caraway seeds. Now, this is what the plant looks like. Kind of looks like a bit, dillish looking. And these are the seeds. And I have an individual seed, and we'll see if the video will pick it up real well. There it is right there. Okay, so let's begin our discussion about caraway. Caraway is known as Meridian fennel or Persian cumin. It is also really a dried fruit. It's not a seed at all, but I'll refer to it as a seed so it won't confuse people. It has an anise-like flavor, but doesn't have a strong licorice flavor like fennel and anise. And the aroma that comes from the seeds are basically from the essential oils that are kept inside the dried fruit or seed, whichever you prefer. In the United States, the most common use of caraway is used in the form of bread. Rye bread, Jewish rye breads, and Irish soda bread even has caraway in it. Caraway is really used all over the world in many cuisines. Now, let me take a brief jog over to the medicinal properties. This spice has been used for centuries for medicinal purposes, but current research has proved many of the traditional claims for health benefits may possibly be very much true. It has anti-inflammatory properties and encourages healthy digestion by blocking the growth of harmful bacteria in your gut, and they did prove that in a lab test. Let's talk about the use of caraway as a popular seasoning for cabbage dishes, such as sauerkraut or cabbage by itself. It can also be used in onion tarts or fried potatoes and more. Caraway seeds flavor casseroles, pork sausages, vegetables such as carrots, broccoli, onion, and beetroot. And you can also use it in mushrooms, and we all know that mushrooms aren't a vegetable. It's also used in curries, soups, and stews. And believe it or not, cheesemakers also use caraway to infuse flavor into many types of cheeses. Such cheeses like Bondost, which is a Norwegian cheese, Pultost, which is a Swedish cheese, and everybody knows about German Havarti, a wonderful tasting cheese, and Tilsit, which is also a Danish cheese. It is also used in pork sausage, which gives it a distinct flavor, rendering pork sausage with a spicy flavor. And when you put caraway in cabbage, sauerkraut, the caraway seed actually removes the bitterness, makes it a little bit sweeter to eat. So if anybody knows anything about sauerkraut, if you just use sauerkraut all by itself, it can be very bitter, in my opinion. And the caraway does the opposite. It actually makes it sweeter. In short, caraway adds bittersweet component to your dishes. And a couple of dishes that I can tell you off the top of my head that are using caraway seed is goulash. It's also used in Flemish beef stew, just to name a few. Okay, well, let's move on to the next one, which is fennel seed. Now, fennel seed looks just like that, and it is actually a seed. If you put it right next to caraway, you can see it's larger and it's lighter. Caraway has a very dark seed. Fennel has a very large tannish brown seed. And everybody knows that there is fennel that's made in the stores, should I say, that is fresh. I currently don't have an actual fennel here, but the picture should be self-explanatory. Now, fennel seeds are in the same group of spices that gives all dishes a sweet licorice flavor, like anise and caraway, these two. Now, don't confuse fennel with anise. Although they have the same taste, fennel is not as pungent or strong as anise. And if you buy and use fresh fennel, it has the same flavor, but it's a much milder flavor than if you use the seed. Whether you use fennel seeds for pickling, seasoning, sausage, or making a crust for fish or beef fillets, or even using it in bread, you'll soon realize that these aromatic seeds elevate the recipe and makes it very interesting to consume. Now, on the health side, seeds contain a mineral called manganese, which is an important enzyme activation for metabolism, cellular protection, bone development, blood sugar regulation, and wound healing. Aside from manganese, fennel seeds also have minerals for bone health, like potassium and magnesium and calcium. And if you use the seeds in a tea, or even the green portion of the fennel plant itself, it'll help improve your digestion as well as other benefits. Now, you're asking, well, what dishes can I use this with? It's not limited to fish like salmon, but you can use it in pork tenderloin, any type of pork dish, cabbage, soups, breads, and pasta dishes. Wonderful tasting. Now, the next one that I want to discuss is anise. Now, this is what the anise seed looks like, and this is what star anise actually does look like when it's dried. Now, these seeds come out of that configuration on the picture. And this is what the seeds look like when you compare them to caraway and fennel. Very, very tiny seeds. I'm sorry I don't have star anise to show you, but the picture should be good enough for right now. Now, it's usually purchased in dry flower form, and it is also purchased in the seed form. Now, the spice has strong flavor of licorice, and despite its sweetness, star anise traditionally is used in savory recipes, particularly with meats, and is often added whole, as in the picture there, to soups, stews, and braising broths, which adds a sweet licorice peppery flavor. Now, anise seeds also contain beneficial nutrients including iron, calcium, magnesium, manganese, phosphorus, potassium, vitamin A, vitamin C, and zinc. The health benefits are just like fennel and caraway seed for anti-inflammatory, helping to prevent iron deficiencies in your blood, and the list goes on and on. I'll leave it up to my viewers to do the research on the medicinal properties. So, anise is used, let's go back to the cooking side, and anise is used in bakery, like cookies and biscotti, but you can also use it in chicken and pork dishes. This spice is used in many Asian recipes also. Unfortunately, I don't have any examples of those, but I'm quite sure you can find them on allrecipes.com or one of the other Food Network websites. Now, the next item that I want to talk to is tarragon. Now, tarragon is not a seed, it is actual plant, and it kind of looks like rosemary a little bit, but these leaves on this plant are a little bit longer and a little bit wider at the base. And it's usually purchased in a chopped form, similar to what you see here on this paper. Now, the primary flavor of tarragon is light. It's far from overwhelming licorice taste like anise. And rest assured, the licorice flavor is soft that even I, someone who really doesn't like licorice very much, can't get enough of this herb. When it's used in a fresh form, it has citrus notes and delicate spiciness. However, fresh tarragon is best used in moderation in the kitchen, as this aromatic herb can quickly overpower any dish that it's in excess. Now, tarragon is a member of the sunflower family and is found throughout Eurasia and America. Now, among certain chefs, tarragon is considered the Cadillac of herbs, not because it is any more costly than any other tender leafy contemporaries, but because tarragon is flavor, delivers a certain sophistication to any dish that it's married up with. Now, tarragon has many impressive health benefits, including a potential for reduced blood sugar, inflammation, and pain, while improving your sleep, appetite, and health of your heart. Now, please keep in mind that if you choose to use this spice as a supplement, moderation is the key, and it is also a good source of potassium. And as I said, you can do your research on these herbs on your own time. Now, back to this cooking of this herb with any food. Tarragon is the mainstay in French cooking, just so you know, and an essential ingredient in broth béarnaise sauce and a combination of herbs known as fine herbs. Now, béarnaise sauce is used on steak like steak sauce. It gives a better taste to steak, better than those store-bought bottles like A1 and such. And this spice also works really well with poultry. Duck and chicken make a wonderful taste to both, but we can't forget pork and seafood. The main pairing for this spice usually is between seafood and poultry. Now, examples of some dishes would be creamy tarragon chicken, sautéed fish with tarragon sauce, roast pork, and even vegetables will work well with tarragon. An example of some of the vegetables would be asparagus, potatoes. You can put it in potato salad, green beans, just to name a few. Well, that's all I have for today on this video. And please join me for my other videos dealing with the spices and herbs in cooking. Now, I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope that you will subscribe and like my videos. So that's all I have for today. Bye-bye, everybody.